yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, my nigga D, my nigga D. My brother came and told me some shit about this nigga talking about his gypsy wig he gon' split. I laugh, man, I gas cause I'm fucking this shit. She told me all she wanna do is ride my dick. She hit with the nigga cause he giving him stacks. But every fucking night I try to break a fucking back. And now the nigga say that he wanna fight, but if he fuck around, I put that fire in his life.
Man, he fucking it broad, and if he tripped in his song, never let a nigga say you a broad, proving wrong. Fool, I'm fucking this nigga down now, and he know it. Got a fist but won't throw it. Talk this shit but won't show it. Yo, it ain't nothing going on but nuts on naked tricks. They never faking licks, sucking dick while I'm taking shit. I do a bitch bad and treat a nigga worse than that, and make sure you show him that fat cat you left with. I left it wet,
I left it wet for you, nigga. I left it wet for you, nigga.
I left it wet for you, fool.
I left it wet for you, nigga. I went to my nigga, got that little girl daughter. My nigga 3-2 came down with the water. A dip, nigga, trip, your pride. I took my fucking pistol shot of dope in his eye. I ain't got no good for you fucking home. I'm hot for broken click. I got you dripping on my fucking clothes. I got that fire bumping in my brain. I'm thinking to myself, I need to go to Senate King. And all the time I'm bumping WC, cause it seemed like he the only nigga making sense to me. And the shit ain't really the same, it's moving too fast. I just with this water bullet over my ass. I'm rolling in a ragged and ride, thinking about suicide, bumping that green outside, nigga. And all the time I'm fried. I left it wet for you, nigga. Yeah, boy.
I left it wet
in the prison. I left it wet for you, nigga.
I left it
What's up, man? I left it wet for you, nigga. What's up, Bobo? I left it wet for you, nigga.
I left it wet for you, fool. I never looked a punk ass sorry son of a bitch, which is why I can't lie about the hate. I said it straight and never switch up my opinion. If you ain't down, you ain't down. That's that, just go get your gat, little bitch. Holla back when your pistol back, I promise. Anybody trying to be a bold bastard getting fried like that dip, I'm full of that dank and ready to trip. It's been a lot of niggas swearing that they hard like I care, and I be sharing slugs with some of them thugs that think they tearing. Holding half, laugh, and hit the blunt and give it away and see which one of these niggas won't be living today. Hey, what's up? Got me a couple of that earthen jerk, hurting me work till I'm blown. And never to fall for a bitch cause I'm too cold. I explode like a bomb, dropping them daily. So don't say we never told ya. I drill nigga fold ya. Texas drilling on big baby. Baby, you didn't know I just my blast on or let loose some of this stress. Leaving blood all over your chest. Yeah, I left it wet for you, queen. I left it wet left it wet for you, boy. I 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 left it wet for you, boy.
And what a nigga trying to say is shit. Niggas straight up be fucking your gal, fool. And what you gon' do then? What you gon' cry? Step up. Get you a bitch though. You know what I'm saying? Bust ass nigga. Keep my name out your mouth, boy. I ain't